It happened live before millions of stunned viewers when a heated debate between Gutfeld and Senator John Kennedy took an unexpected and deeply emotional turn. What began as a clash of opinions on national television turned into one of the most talked about moments in modern media, a moment that revealed not just tempers, but the true power of humility, faith, and conviction. The exchange took place on Gutfeld's own show, where the witty and often sarcastic host is known for his sharp humor and unfiltered remarks. The topic that night was patriotism, and how Americans define belonging in a country so divided by politics and culture. Kennedy, known for his Southern charm and straight-talking wisdom, had joined the panel to share his perspective on American values and unity. Things were going smoothly until they weren't. As Kennedy began discussing how his upbringing in rural Louisiana shaped his love for the country, Gutfeld interrupted him mid-sentence with a smirk and said words that would send shockwaves through the audience. "Maybe you should just go back to where you came from if you think your version of America is the only one that matters." The studio went silent. Viewers at home froze. Even the co-hosts looked stunned. For a moment, it felt like time had stopped. The tension thick, the air electric. Kennedy didn't react right away. He didn't shout back, didn't raise his voice. Instead, he took a long pause, adjusted his glasses, and looked directly at Gutfeld, calm, unshaken, and with that trademark Louisiana gentleness. Then he said quietly but powerfully, "Greg, I'm already where I came from. America. This land raised me, fed me, taught me, and gave me a reason to believe. And if loving it out loud offends you, then maybe it's not me who needs to find his way home." The audience erupted, some gasped, others clapped, but no one stayed silent. For the next several minutes, Kennedy went on to speak from the heart. He talked about growing up in a small town where people worked hard, helped each other, and didn't let political differences destroy friendship. He reminded everyone that America wasn't built on bitterness or division. It was built on resilience, forgiveness, and hope. "You can't fix a country you've stopped believing in," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "We all come from somewhere, different towns, different roots, different stories. But we're all here now, and that means something. You don't send people back when they disagree with you. You listen, you learn, and you build something stronger together." Even Gutfeld, who was rarely at a loss for words, sat quietly for a moment before responding. His usual snark disappeared, replaced by a faint, uneasy smile. He nodded and said, "Well, Senator, I can't argue with that. Maybe we all need a reminder of what that kind of love for this country sounds like." That single moment, two men, one sharp comment, one graceful response, rippled across social media within minutes. Hashtags like #KennedyResponse and #TruePatriotic began trending. Clips of Kennedy's heartfelt statement flooded timelines, and even people who didn't agree with his politics called his composure a masterclass in grace. Commentators from across the political spectrum weighed in. Some criticized Gutfeld's remark as crossing a line, while others praised Kennedy's calm for diffusing a situation that could have spiraled into hostility. But the message that resonated most wasn't about who won the argument, it was about how Kennedy handled it. He didn't attack, he didn't humiliate, he led with dignity. Later that week, Kennedy was asked in an interview whether he felt offended by Gutfeld's words. His reply melted hearts once again. "Offense is a choice," he said. "I'd rather choose understanding. If I let anger control me, I lose the chance to teach something better, and that's not who I was raised to be." Those words, simple yet profound, carried the weight of truth, a truth America desperately needed to hear. In an age when outrage dominates every conversation, Kennedy reminded everyone that grace still has power. Even Gutfeld, days later, addressed the moment on his show. With surprising humility, he admitted, "I said something I shouldn't have." Kennedy's response showed me more about leadership than any debate ever could. I learned something from him that night. The two men reportedly exchanged messages afterward, with Gutfeld even inviting Kennedy back on the show not to debate, but to talk about rebuilding unity in America. That second conversation, less fiery but deeply meaningful, showed two strong personalities learning to respect each other despite differences. By the end of it all, What started as an insult became an inspiration. The story reminded millions that patriotism isn't about shouting the loudest, it's about loving the country enough to speak with integrity, even when you're under attack. And, as Kennedy said in his closing words during that second appearance, the real strength of America isn't in her politics, it's in her people. You don't tell your neighbor to go back, you tell them to stand with you, because you both belong here. That message, calm, human, and profoundly true, didn't just stun America, it healed something too. It was a rare moment on live television when decency won, and for millions watching, it served as a reminder that sometimes, the most powerful response isn't the loudest, it's the one that speaks to the heart.